Alright, you're with Al, and this is Chronicles of a Not Yet Champion Golfer. Before anyone says anything as well, yes, I have put sunscreen on, and yes, I'm aware that my nose is red, but I can't help it. It's closer to the sun than the rest of my face. Jamie Guy.
First golf.
Jamie Guy, first golf. Got his hat on. Right, we're talking about the stats from the 9 holes that I played yesterday. He's talked me into it in 2 iron here.
He's not comfortable with it.
I'm going to play it though. Can you move the buggy, please? We're going at the right one of those 4 trees.
Yeah, right one of those 4 trees. It's lying nice. Don't need to do anything, just put a nice swing on it.
Sit! 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 Oh, that's alright, it's a good layup.
Is it?
Yeah?
I didn't sit down.
Spit right, it's a good layup. Wasn't meant to be a layup. This is where I've wrote me stats out, by the way.
Little plug for Pro V1.
Pro V1 jobbies, please.
Need some golf balls.
Yeah, I do. 'Cause can lose a couple every now and again.
Yeah,
that's why I wrote them down, so it's professional. I think the biggest one that I think is people look at how many putts they had for 9 holes or
definitely.
18 holes or whatever, and they go, oh, well, I had 36 putts.
Putting is massively relevant because people will say, oh, well, I've had 36 putts, so if I could have 30 putts, then I'm 6 shots better. But you could be gaining on the field if everything is, if your first putt is from 40 foot every time.
Yeah, if you hit every green to 40 foot.
Yeah, if you're going to hit 18 greens of regulation, then you're going to have more putts.
Yeah.
So you can't look at how many putts you've had per round that way because it just doesn't give a true story. For example, the 15th hole for yourself.
Was it 15 or 16?
16, sorry
16.
It was, yeah, 16.
I hit a good 7 iron in to 20 feet. Be good, be good, be good. Sit, sit. Pretend like I was meant to be going for that back left pin and he got miss left. Putted it down the hill, off the green.
Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Gotta hit it. Gotta hit it.
Sit.
Go on, bye.
Oh, you idiot!
You knew how fast it was.
Still not on the green, it's on the fringe again.
Now like 30 feet away, was it?
Yeah. Put it up to 1 foot and then obviously tap that in, but that's a 1 putt.
Putts are only classed as if they're on the green, so you could actually have more putts. You know, you can put from the collar of the rough, you can put from the fairway. People will do it instead of chipping in occasionally because they don't fancy the chip or something like that. So it's a stat really. It's a little bit.
Yeah, Jay just made a good point there. Statistics like on tour, that'll go down as a 1 putt for me. I putted it from the fringe to the other fringe back on, and had a 1 foot putt, and that's a 1 putt. I actually had 3 though. I haven't looked properly into like the full game because they do the same on that strokes gained stat. They do it tee to green as well, but the strokes gained on the green. So basically, it takes into account PGA Tour average of how many putts a hole from certain distances. So, for example, I think is it 9 feet where the average is 1.5 putts, something around there. So, from 9 feet, the players on tour are averaging 50%, which we've played with people in pro-ams and stuff, and they'll miss a 9-footer and get fuming with themselves. But actually on tour they're playing, granted they're very slopey greens and they're not always straight putts, but they're playing really good greens and they're only holding 50% from 9 feet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if your average player that's playing once a week is holding 1 in 4.
Yeah, 1 4, 1 5.
Then
they're doing really well. It's all obviously, you know, people have strengths and weaknesses in the game, and some people will be better putters than others.
And you see people get fuming, don't they?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I should be holding that, and I'm standing there thinking, well, you actually shouldn't.
Yeah.
But then you put yourself in a bad mood to go on to the next tee and then you're trying to chase that one back again all the time, and then you end up making 7, and that's where it all goes wrong, I think. So
how it works out is, from 9 feet, if you hold the putt, then you gain half a shot on the field. So putt plus is 0.5. If you miss it from 9 feet, you lose half a shot on the field. So then you add up, and whatever number you get at the end, if your number is 0.00, then you are bang on with strokes gained on the PGA Tour average.
Beautiful, man.
This season, actually, when I did like a season preview, one of my goals was to get positive in the strokes gained in putting, because it's an area that I feel like I'm a good putter, but I don't. It sounds daft. I feel like I'm a good putter, but I don't feel like I hold enough putts.
Oh! High side lip out. Good effort, mate. Good effort.
if you know what I mean.
I do, yeah, but I'd say you hold quite a few putts.
Yeah, but
I'd say your putting is quite strong.
So, well, in those 9 holes, my strokes gained in putting was negative 0.06. So pretty much on the level of
which is quite
PGA
good
Tour
because
average.
those greens that we've played at Abama, obviously they're very good, they're very quick, but they are very slopey as well.
It's the second shot coming in. Oh, short. That's what this course does. That's literally like 35 yards away now. Such a tricky golf shot, these shortish shots in. Sometimes you're better having a longer way in, and it's just subtle. Got a so subtle little slopes, you don't get it quite right.
And it's hard to get your head around kind of the changes in slope. You've got to walk around the putt a lot to see the speed of it, whether it's uphill, downhill. Because obviously you can get away from you if it's downhill.
Lizard, look.
Oh yeah, so there is. Look at that. He's quite
Let me
big.
try and... Oh, he's gone on the wall.
He might come back out.
It's quite big, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
I mean, the difference in that, in getting into the positive and actually gaining strokes, I missed one 8-foot putt. If I hold that 8-foot putt, I'll probably gain 0.6 shots. About,
Yeah, definitely.
which makes all the difference.
Yeah.
But, so that's one stat I think that's important to look at and not just get obsessed with how many putts you have in a round.
This guy's using a Wilson staff. Just called him through. He's using a Wilson staff. Ah, no problem, take your time.
Best you go this way.
Take your time, mate. Wilson staff, wasn't he?
Got all excited, I'm not going to lie.
What, because he was using a Wilson staff?
You know, absolute quality equipment. Most majors won, some say.
What ball do you use?
Titleist.
Oh.
I've hit 3 fairways in regulation out of 7.
That's not a great stat.
Not great. No.
No.
To be fair, no, it's not. But one of them was winged right.
What about that trap?
And funny enough, I made bogey. 3 of them were literally semi, like a couple of them were that far. So 18 and 10, 11, 13 were that far off the fairway in the semi.
It kind of looks as if it's a fairway missed. It's like it's like the putting stat, isn't it? Do you know, if you're just off the green using a putter, but it doesn't count as a putt.
Yeah.
Where you're only just like you're less than a yard off the fairway.
Yeah.
But it obviously counts as if you missed the fairway.
So I think that should be almost included if it's like make a statement, whether it's if you're recording how many fairways you hit, say the ones that you missed, record if it was in the semi.
Sit. Sit.
It's alright.
Yeah, that's good, that. Very good.
Thank you. It listened.
Because it could make obviously your stats, because then there's 2 more, isn't it? So you're then up to what, over 50%?
Yeah.
So again, European Tour average off the top of my head would be 60-odd% fairways hit.
Yeah.
Which is there or thereabouts then, and that's on a strong driving golf course as well. Do you know, it's, you've really got to be accurate off the tee.
Yeah.
Hold your hand. Might get a hop out of there, mate.
Probably won't.
The normal stats that I would look at, those putting strokes gained, fairways, which was 3 out of 7, but potentially 5 really. The greens in regulation, 6 out of 9, not great, but relatively speaking to the ones that I missed the fairway in, they're the ones that I actually missed the green, which is not a coincidence. Fairways, greens, putts, up and downs. I got up and down 1 out of 3 times.
Come on down. Come on down. Come on down. Stop! Thank you.
Okay, so again, you're looking to try and build a percentage on that.
Really
but
isn't
unless you
good
know
enough,
where you are now, you've got nothing to build on going forward, have you?
No, that's true.
That's the thing. And as I say, it's the stats are relative to the type of course that you play. Now, obviously, PGA, the courses are very similar. PGA Tour week by week, okay. The green speeds will be similar. You know, the course setup will be similar. Where European Tour can change from a links course to something like we're playing this week in Abama. You know, the setup of course, or the difference in courses week by week can be very, very different.
Yeah.
You know, you can go somewhere like Paris National, which can actually get quite firm and bouncy, like Ryder Cup.
It's hard, that place, isn't it?
Yeah, very tough. And obviously, you know, then your stats are relevant to that week, because it's difficult to hit fairways, it's difficult to hit it close. and then you go somewhere, for example, like I'll say Villamora, Portugal Masters,
Yeah.
and that's a birdie fest for the week, you know, 23, 24 underwinds that every week. If you hit it in the rough, it doesn't really matter because the ball sits up. You've just got to judge how far it goes.
Will you record Paul's stats when he's playing?
Yeah, so
what will you do when you go out to do that? Would you record how far away he is on every hole when he's playing?
Yeah, every single shot I mark down. So we get a little card, a stats card at the beginning of each round, through 15th Club.
Yeah.
And they then produce this card. I fill it in. So
you're not allowed 15 clubs in your bag, by the way.
No, just 14. This was just like a 15th club, as in it was like helpful.
It was cheating that.
Yeah. So then I record drive, where it went. So rough, fairway, semi, left, right, long, short. Then the second shot we record how far we've got to the pin, what club we're using, and then where it's finished. So
yeah,
hopefully green. And then from there I'll pace out to say, right, the putt is 26 feet.
Yeah.
And then obviously he hits his putt, and then I have to get a reading for the second putt.
Okay.
So and that goes on every hole. So obviously you've got your par 3s, 4s and 5s. At the end of it, kind of what club you've hit off every tee, how far you've had into every green, and then they put it back into a report form.
Obviously there's your fairways, your greens and regulation, your putts, the amount of putts you've had, your up and downs, sand saves. What other sort of stuff are you looking at?
I look at proximity to the hole from certain yardages as well, because then I know which areas to hit it into off the tee. There's no point sort of whacking it down there 60 yards short all the time if I'm terrible from 60 yards and I'm better from 100.
I'm with you.
So I kind of need to kind of keep an eye on all that, because again, it's all good and being, you know, good and well hitting and being strong off the tee, but if you keep hitting into areas that you're actually quite weak at, what's the point?
Yeah.
May as well take advantage from.
And that's where a lot of amateurs have just hit 3-wood second shot on a par 5.
Yeah.
They might hit it 60 yards and they might be awful from 60 yards.
I've laid it up there because I know I'm strong with the wedges. I had 115 yards and think of it to about 8 foot.
Okay, yeah.
With no danger of hitting it in the water or anything like that. Just give myself 8 foot for birdie. And
yeah.
I think it's something that a lot of, not just amateurs, myself as well, I haven't paid enough attention to stats, and you can get misled and think, well, I'm struggling in this area, I'm struggling in that area. And actually, when you look at the numbers, you're not. Or you might be stronger in an area that you think you're weak at. So if it's your monthly medals or your 4-round tournaments, whatever it is, if you can get into a habit of recording your results, recording your stats, how far away you are on each hole, how many putts you had from that distance, get your strokes gain numbers, and it's something to base on. And all my videos are sort of about improvement and recording your results and trying to get better in certain areas. And statistics, basically the facts. Some of them are a little bit misleading, aren't they?
They can be, and statistics can be used to push in what direction you want, really. You know, they can be used for good or bad. But if you're taking note of, I would say, the correct statistics, and you're working and you're measuring your goals towards them, then you give yourself a good chance of improving, or knowing where you need to improve anyway.
The ones that I would suggest, and if you'd agree, I would suggest looking at fairways, but put semi-rough in it as well, and then record your scores relative to hitting the fairway. So if you've made a bogey on a hole, you'll probably find most of the times you make bogey is the ones that you've missed the fairway on.
Oh, left. It's going to go left off there.
Yeah.
And it's a strong correlation between them two, isn't it, on tour and right the way through. I'd record them and get your strokes gained, dead easy. You can go on Google.
To be fair, looking, you know, even so, when you look at it there, you're talking, we'll go, say, for example, 25 yards from the fairway.
Yeah.
You're 6.9 feet at tour average. 25 yards from the rough is 9.7 feet. So if you're looking at, say, 25 yards from the fairway is 6.9 feet, so say 7 feet, you've got 67% chance of holding that. At 10 feet, you've got 49% chance of holding that.
Yeah, changes so much, doesn't it?
So that's the same distance, just from obviously.
Yeah, rough or fairway.
Yeah. So it's that's, and then obviously you start moving that back out. You know, you could get it now to 100 yards.
Yeah.
You know, at times it's difficult to hit greens.
There he is.
Look. Wildlife Wednesdays, even though it's Tuesday. Yes, they are loving life. Look at them. Look at them. Yes. Oh no. Oh, they're getting aggressive.
I do that quite a bit and then forget where we're at.
That's good, isn't it? He's thought that through.
It's high enough to get over that.
Do not hit a duck.
Yeah, we were talking about kind of moving it back out from fairway to rough, weren't we?
So basically hit more fairways.
There we go.
If you've got 200 yards and you're looking, you're thinking, actually to hit the green from here, it's going to be really tough. To do the percentage of actually hitting that shot to land on the green and kind of stop it and give myself a putt is difficult. You may well be better trying to hit into a yardage where the, say, 40, 50, 60, 70 yards would be a strong yardage for you. Try and hit that shot from the fairway. The chances of you getting up and down from there or giving yourself that par putt would maybe be stronger than trying to hit a 3-wood out of the rough from 200 yards.
So without statistics, you wouldn't know what distance you're strong at.
Yeah, so you need to know.
Same thing on par 5s. If you're laying up, don't just hit your longest club for your second shot and leave yourself 50 yards because you might be really poor from 50 yards.
Yeah, you might be better from 70. You know, your statistics might be better from 70 yards than they are 40 or 50.
And you'll always have areas that you're stronger than others. That's the way the game is. So I'd suggest definitely recording your stats over a period of time. If you do it over a month, if you get to play enough, and just look at where you are strong, where you need to improve, and it'll show up. It's black and white.
Yeah.
Again, just pay attention to the right areas. Really.
Kind of grey and green, isn't it?
Grey and green.
Or black and white. I see what you've done there.
Yeah, black and white shorts. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got black and white sock and slide combination. That's the
sock,
thing. I was going to call it a flip flop, but it's not, is it?
So I think we pretty much covered it there. Hopefully that's not confused anyone. Cockerel giving it loads there, hasn't he? Do you hear it?
He is, he's good. He's actually come out quite a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I wonder if you'll hear him on the video.
Let's see. If it's not, then people just think we're lying. Thanks for watching.
Enjoyed it.
Statistics. It's all about the stats. Cockerel. See you next Tuesday.
I think we should probably go now. Come on, friends, let's go.